Hi, this is Grant Wiles. This is a PowerPoint presentation on the vertical jump assessment for class AES 6810, Essentials of Strength and Conditioning. First, for this PowerPoint, we'll be going over the testing protocols for the vertical jump assessment with two variations via using no equipment and a Vertec device. Then we'll go into the when and why we use this assessment, an alternate exercise and replacement of this exercise replacement of this assessment, references, and a closing. First, we're going over the testing protocol. For this first procedure, we'll be going over the no equipment needed, utilizing just the athlete in the wall and something to mark the measurements of the heights. First, we'll have the athlete stand with the dominant shoulder about 6 inches from the wall, with feet flat on the ground. They'll reach up as high as possible with their dominant hand, and the highest point that's reached while standing is going to be marked by the practitioner as the baseline height. The athlete will then lower their dominant hand, and without a preparatory movement or stutter step, they perform a counter movement, which is done by quickly flexing the knees and hips, moving the trunk forward and downward, and swinging their arms backwards, getting themselves into a jumping ready position. It's important to note to communicate with the athlete that during the jump, the dominant arm will be the arm that they reach up and touch as high as they can on the wall, while their non-dominant arm moves downwards relative to the body. At the highest point of this jump, the athlete will be instructed to touch the wall, and then this will be identified as the maximum height reached. The athlete will do this the best of 3 trials, and the measurements will be according to the nearest half inch. The practitioner will measure the vertical distance between the 2 chalk marks. They'll take a measurement tool and go from the baseline to the maximum height and determine that in inches. For a second procedure, utilizing a Vertec device. This is utilized in different athletic type of settings and professional, and also, for example, such as professional athletes at their athletic combines for them to go into their profession. Similar to utilizing the wall, just the external device. The tester will adjust the height of the stack in order for the participant to stand underneath it, about 6 inches from it, and use their dominant hand to reach up and touch the maximum height that they can reach for their baseline measurement. The stack will be then raised up to a height that the athlete will have to jump up and to be able to reach. Similar to the wall procedure, there will be no preparatory or movement or stutter step. The athlete will perform a counter movement, doing a quick squat by bending at the knees and hips and moving the trunk forward and downwards, swinging their arms backwards. Similar to before, got to communicate to the athlete that during the jump, the dominant arm is the one that reaches up, while the non-dominant arm moves downward relative to the body. Some talking points for the athlete, for communication points. Their feet. It's important to keep their feet shoulder width apart. Make sure during the counter movement, they are moving their body efficiently to enable them to have the most explosive power that they can. This test will be completed in best of 3 trials, according to the nearest half inch from their baseline height to their maximum height reached. Now we're going to go into the when and why. When you perform this test, this test is an anaerobic maximum muscle power test. The idea behind this is to find the maximum explosive power and the speed that an athlete has. This assesses a great test to assess an individual's lower body power. This test can be used to monitor training progress, evaluate athletic performance, or track changes in muscle power over time throughout a training program. This can be utilized at different times of athletic seasons. For example, this can be used as an athlete's preseason baseline testing for the strength coaches or athletic coaches to determine where they're at for muscular strength and power. This can be used as part of injury rehabilitation, as if an athlete gets injured, this is a great way to test to see where they were at from their baseline, where they're at from where they're at in their current time in their rehabilitation or their training program. Why would you perform this test? This test is a great measurement of explosive power in an athlete. This test can be performed as an evaluation, especially in athletes that are involved in sports requiring jumping abilities, because this is an assessment to assess or determine the athlete's current performance level and identify any areas of improvement, such as having a lack of muscular strength in the lower body. This is a great way to monitor training, because this allows coaches to track the effectiveness of their training programs, monitor changes in the athlete's power over time. This is also a great test to identify any muscular imbalances or weaknesses in the lower body that could lead to an increased risk of injury. Next, we're going to alternate testing, which relates to the static vertical jump. This movement is similar to the normal vertical jump assessment. The only difference is the counter movement is removed. So communication with that participant is you'll instruct them to, similar to as the normal vertical jump assessment, have their feet shoulder width apart. They'll get down into a squatting position with their knee angle approximately 110 degrees, and you will instruct them to hold this position for 2 to 3 seconds before they explode up and jump vertically. This differs from the vertical jump assessment due to the counter movement being eliminated from their starting position. From the bottom of the squat, the athlete will jump up, and the maximum height will be measured from their baseline height. The best of 3 trials will be recorded. The distance between the baseline reach, and the vertical reach will be determined. And the main difference between this test is there'll be the use of a contact mat system, which is a digital mat that's the athlete will be standing on, and this will give information to the practitioner, such as giving numbers on force production between either leg, whether that's the non-dominant versus the dominant leg, and will give force application throughout their jump. When and why would you do this test? This is also another version of a maximum muscle power test. So this also gives you a true statistic version of a test to determine explosive power, high speed, and maximum strength of the lower body. This takes away the counter movement that is involved in the normal vertical jump assessment due to the lower starting position. This is a test due to the counter movement being taken away. This allows the athlete to determine, or the practitioner to determine, the athlete's true explosive power without having to use a counter movement or momentum to carry them throughout the vertical jump. This assesses explosive power from a stationary position, specifically measuring the ability to generate maximum force rapidly without any preparatory movement. So this gives you a true basis on how much maximum force the athlete is actually able to produce. This, due to the contact mat system, this allows you to identify imbalances between the legs due to the contact mat system tracking the force production between either side of the box that the athlete will be standing on, which gives you a understanding of if the athlete is producing more off of one leg or the other, which could relate to muscular imbalances. Here are the references. And then for the CUC class, as discussed in the announcements portion of the discussion, the section regarding reliability and validity will be posted in the discussion board comments.